अल्लाह सुब्हान तआला तुसां सारे की अपने ज़मान विच रखे, हर मुश्किल तू बचाई के रखे। माड़े बच्चियों तुसां वास्ते बावे नी दुआएं ही दुआएं।
But it's one thing I remember, Pops, when me and Pops were on a collection that time, and I remember clearly, and it just hit me, because we believe, we're not, when you're young, you be greedy for friends, don't you? Well, and then as you get older, you get greedy for good friends, don't you? Then you get greedy for a wife, and a good wife, don't you? Then you get greedy for a good business, and greedy for a nice car. It's not greedy in a bad way, it's just something that everyone has desires. But, whenever you do something good, it's multiplied. When you do sadaqah, it comes back many forms. It might come back in money, or it might come back in the blessing of a child. It can come back in it could come back in a blessing as a friend. Your only friend might just come out of the room, give you a call, and you might need that call for that moment. So this one time I remember clearly we were collecting Quran book, me and Pops, remember, and we were going through loads that day. I think Ali was busy that day, and a few lads they were all busy. It was just, something happened, you end up being two of you, don't you? And many times Pops you've been low with Ali and everyone, so me Ali been low to him many times. And it's those discussions that take place, and some things, stay with you forever, some things don't stay with you forever. And whoever Allah wants to keep in them, Allah keep away from things like dementia nowadays. People forget. One of my close friends, very close, his mother suffers from dementia. And I sometimes think, wow, we don't have problems. We don't have no problems. Alhamdulillah, we eat, we sleep, we're blessed, alhamdulillah. That person who carries a smile and knowing that mom has dementia, wow. I don't want to mention them, of course, but however, and I look at that guy inspires me. He inspired me from a young age. And one of very close boxers to me, and I'm sat with you, Pops, and I remember going through the Quran, and he says to me, don't just put them away.
Okay.
Don't just put the Quran away. Because we're trying to get, we're trying to, of course, assemble those from those that we can bring back out, and those that we can give to non-Muslims, of course, to have read of those, the ones that, of course, were translated in English, and those we kept to give back to the masjid and the prison services across England, of course, however we want to do it. And you said, Nisa, those that were going to go into the bag to be buried, he said, read something out of it. Pops goes, read something out of it. So I'm thinking, alright. I'm not going to lie. The devil goes, how much are you going to read? What are you going to read? I thought, let's read. And then I thought, I'm starting reading a bit, only a few lines, few little lines. And then after I read a few, and then I remember Papa Koshi saying to me that imagine that you read that Quran, you're the last person to kiss the Quran or read that Quran, whichever it is, whatever state it's in, it's still the Quran in it. It could be an empty book with no rhyme, it's still the Quran in it. We have the love for it, don't we? And the Pops goes to imagine what blessings you are going to receive from this Quran. You're the last person to read it, the last person to kiss it, and you're going to, Allah knows, isn't it? Boy, drive your greedy Pops. Every time I read Surah Al-Fatiha, Quran, get it in. But you know what happens? The devil is so strong that, we should always remember that when you do good, try to stay steadfast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even with your family members, we get, something at work, we get a bit like, all that kind of thing happens, doesn't it? But I realized that, when I started reading Surah Al-Fatiha, and I go to Kul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq, the devil said, you know what? Just read Surah Al-Fatiha. I think, wow, still at the end there, right at the end, this guy is telling me to read it, and I'm thinking, I need to read it, and the devil's still banging me head. I thought, you know what? But I don't remember that, and for you telling me, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what swab you will get. And maybe this is what is going to get us somewhere, because there is nothing on this world that is more sacred than the Quran. Nothing that is more powerful. Not in the Quran, one word of the Quran. There's nothing that is better. No human, no nothing, no prophet even. Nothing is better than the Quran. The Quran is the most merciful, and that one might intercede. They all say it's interceding for you in the grave. So and I remember from these stories, it's like, like when you do off, and sometimes we said yes straight away. I said yes straight away. Sometimes even though we do good, and sometimes the devil wants to bang your head on it, and it happens every time, don't it, when you're doing good. But it's all what I've learned from this project. And also, wife keeps telling me, you know, always should say yes. Yes, someone asks us for money, you might be able to give food, give them something at least, innit? When Papa, because she said, come and spend the whole day with me, and sometimes think, oh, we've got X, Y, Z, go give him 2 hours at least, isn't it? Give him something, because those 2 hours might be more better than the 2 hours and 8 hours. And if you only do 2 hours, just believe it is 8 hours worth, innit? And only Allah gave you the reward for 8 hours. And then I remember, so when I adapted it into my own life, I'm not saying I'm not perfect, we're not all perfect, you know. We are who we are, and everyone has their own, you know, hidden, you know, Allah sees everything, you know, but we all have this thing that we try to hide from certain things, and when someone does good, they try to like not sometimes tell people, like, do you understand? They don't want to tell people because, oh, that, you know what, they just keep it there, but we always invite people. I don't think, Pop, you always invite people to come help or come support the project, but sometimes I think, why don't no one come? Like, what is the reason no one comes? And then they come up, Ali said, you've got to be probably chosen, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to be probably chosen.
Acha, Nisa, let me just touch on this point.
Yeah.
And I want the people to understand this. Obviously, you was there from the first burial.
Yeah.
And I remember that day when you and me were in the back room sorting the Qurans out.
Yeah.
And I said to you, I said, Nisar, brother, just don't look at it in a way by, we've got so much to do. Don't look at quantity, look at quality.
Yeah.
And I said to Nisar, Marne Kapra, open the Quran, which is Shaykh, read one ayat, and then put it in the glove.
Yeah.
And I said this was in the earliest stages of this project. Now I remember, and this is why, Nisa, you've stayed in my heart. And this is something I'm going to disclose today, which I haven't mentioned to you.
Yeah.
A short, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, after, let's just say, 4 or 5 years, you came to the site.
Yeah.
And on that site, what we were doing was, we had the table out, and we had some shade material to sort out. And I was there digging the grave, and you came and you started sorting out. And as I'm digging, I see you pick a Quran up and you open it and read the ayat. And at that point, it made me feel so happy. Shall I tell you why? People forget.
Yeah.
But that stayed in your heart.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's not only burying the Qurans by sorting, we have to collect them, we have to sort them out, we have to dig. There's a lot of process going on. But someone to remember, knowing that they're getting ready to dig the grave, put everything in the grave, and we've got a bit of sorting to do, let's get that sorting done quick. But your mindset had still remembered that one ayat that you read and put the Quranic Kareem in the glove, and that's the last Quran being read, and it's buried. The rahmats, which I should have explained on that day, which I'm going to explain today.
Yeah.
You've been to masjids all around UK. Alhamdulillah, none of us brothers feel that this is our masjid, this is all masjids are our Allah's houses. And we, the Ummah, have the duty to keep them going. You'll have heard many scholars saying, when someone recites the Quranic Kareem, you should sit quietly and listen.
Yeah.
When someone is just reciting the Quranic Kareem, and that same Quran is a Quranic Kareem which kids learn from. People become Hafze Quran from that Quran. They read the Quranic Kareem in their salahs. In the janazas, they read ayats of the Quranic Kareem. Quranic Kareem is read in a building which makes it a masjid, madrasa. If there's Quranic Kareem being taught, it's a madrasa. If the Quranic Kareem is being read, it's a Quranic Kareem. And Hafze Qurans, Alams and Fazils all around the UK, and there will be no Alam or Fazil that will disagree with what I'm going to say now. they will all say that when Quran Kareem is being read, you should sit with respect and adab and listen. If you are talking, you should stop and you should focus and listen, because by listening to the Quran Kareem, Allah is sending you rahmats. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is strengthening your iman, which is weak in this day and age. And people say that on the day of judgment, scholars say this, that Quran Kareem will stand between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We've all heard this.
Of course, yes.
Now can you imagine those Quran Kareems where me and my beautiful brother here, who I gave him the understanding of reading a ayat, I said it to him because I felt, because I was reading every ayat and I looked and he was, mashallah, he's a very fast lad, mashallah, packing really quick. I says, Nisar, read something out of it, don't just pack it in. This is a method of earning swab.
Of course.
You're going to get swab, but look at the higher swab. What I tried to get across then, which I think I didn't get across there, which I'm going to tell today, that the Quran Kareem is going to give evidence not only who's listened to it when it's being read, it gives who's paid to get a Quran Kareem put together, printed, who's distributed it, who's taken wealth out of it by selling it and making a profit. There are many Islamic books that sell Quran and make business money out of it. Then the Quran Kareem, when people read it, they get rahmats out of it. People become hafz Quran of it. The Quran Kareem will give evidence, and along the evidence it will say, Ya Rabbul Alameen, I was in a state, they used me, they read from me, they reaped the swab tenfold from each letter, and then when I became to a situation where I was unreadable, they put me in the garage, they put me inside. This person checked me this way. This masjid had put me and saying that you could burn with a good heart, knows billah. This masjid shredded, but this masjid gave the Qurans to the Bawa, who turned around and put them in the cloth and buried them with the utmost respect. And the hands that read me last and put me to that grave, Ya Rabbul Alameen, is that guy there.
Subhanallah.
If you like this video, please follow and subscribe. Watch us on YouTube at Rest Gardens. Jazakallah khair. Khuda Hafiz. Allah sone ne wale.